if I did the first dance with your husband, your new husband, it'll be such a great prank. Let's do that. Let's do it for the gram. Let's show everybody how great. Oh my God, we're going to be besties. Let's be besties. And it's like, I don't even want you there, lady. I don't even want you there. How are you so crazy? Like, they're so fucking deluded. And the reason they're deluded is because there's all these things going on inside them that they have no insight into. So they have to construct all of this stuff on the outside that like makes it make sense. Okay?
And I don't think he's given the narcissistic people enough credit. I think they are more aware than he wants to give them credit for. A lot of the narcissistic people I know, if they feel comfortable to tell you, they'll tell you. And they know. And they do these things very intentionally sometimes. And it seems like Dr. K might have been deceived by them. He like believes their explanations. He believes their plausible deniability. And it's like, nah, I think you're being a little too charitable here, buddy. I think you're being a little too charitable. They see more than you think they see. And the truth, I think, is a little more sinister than what he wants to believe.
Here's the other messed up thing. So we're going to explain why this is so frustrating. So the other thing that's going on, here's the key thing to understand. So they're empty on the inside, right? Or sorry, they're not empty. They're blind. So they're blind to this. They don't see it. But that doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen. So there's all kinds of lively stuff going on here, right? And here's the crazy thing. Narcissistic parents know they're hurting you. They know they're hurting you, and they feel immense guilt. So
before he said they didn't know, and now he says they do know. So he's kind of contradicting himself here.
When they feel immense guilt, what do they say? Doing me a favor, helping me focus on real things. Does that make sense? I don't need distraction. Oh, I'm not hurting you. I feel guilty. So how do they deal with that guilt? For your own good. And if they can convince you of that, if they can convince themselves of that, then the guilt disappears. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense because, again, this is why when you have the core wrong, you get the diagnosis wrong. You get the suggestions wrong. I agree, again, more with Dr. Salerno and Dr. Simon. Many of these people are shameless. They're not feeling shame. They're not feeling guilt. And I think a lot of people, they mistake a narcissistic person's hypersensitivity to criticism and perceived criticism for guilt and shame. Not the same thing at all. So again, if you think narcissists are all just insecure and grandiose to cover up their insecurities, then maybe you might think it's, oh, they feel guilt when they're like this. Like, no, that's not, No. What I would say is happening is when they'll say they're doing something for your own good, they're just saying something to avoid accountability at that point. It's not that they feel guilty. They just want to keep on getting away with what they want to get away with. They want to be however they want to be, and they don't want to have to change their behavior. That's what I would say that is. I mean, many narcissistic people will abuse others, and they will say it's for your own good, which is a version of crazy making. But to say that is happening because the narcissistic person's feeling guilt, I don't know about that one, Jack. I don't think so.
So this is what's also so frustrating. You're like, what the fuck do you mean for my own good? I saved up for weeks to buy this thing. This is something I'm excited about, something I'm passionate about. I do it in my free time. I'm 17 years old. I work extra shifts at the grocery store and I get good grades. I'm going to college. What kind of fucking crazy planet are you living on? And it's so frustrating. Half of the frustration is a lack of understanding. Half of the frustration is not knowing what's going on. So they hurt you, they feel guilty. And this is one of the most frustrating things that narcissistic parents do. They feel jealous, they act, you feel hurt, then they feel guilt. And then they act again. And then you feel...
It's almost like, and again, Dr. Simon says this too, the core. They think a narcissistic person is just like everybody else. Like, oh, a normal person, maybe, if they hurt their children, they will feel guilt. But it's a mistake to think a narcissistic person is a normal person. That is not the correct assumption to make here. Like, they're not that way. They are different. They are different, and you must understand that core. They're not like normal people, so you have to act accordingly. So this jealousy and then to guilt routine based on the kids and how they make them feel about themselves. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Feel enraged. It is the soothing of their own guilt, which I got to just say, just as a psychiatrist, just top of mind, kind of, this isn't like evidence-based or whatever. If you had to ask me, what is the thing that narcissistic parents do that pisses off their children the most? It is the way that narcissistic parents assuage their own guilt. That's like.
So that's a good question for the chat. What do a narcissistic parent do that pisses you off the most? Here's my answer. They would be extremely controlling, and they disrespect your autonomy, and they don't care about it. To me, that's what pissed me off the most. I hate being controlled to this day, and I hated not having my thoughts or feelings matter. That's what pissed me off the most, not what he just said. But you can mention below here what you think or what pissed you off the most. What's the other part? The other part that pisses me off is when they're more covert. They just are not direct. Everything is manipulation. They're not going to give you a clear and direct answer about things. They'll never be direct. They always have to manipulate to get their needs met. And they'll use you to get their needs met. And that's, again, what is that? That's disrespecting your autonomy and using you. That would piss me off too. That's a good answer, LG. They said the mind game's making me the scapegoat. Yeah, that's a good one. The scapegoats, yes, as Christian John would say, the receptacle for all of the family shit and all of the feelings they don't want to feel. Coercive line control, covert control. Yep, I love it, Melissa. Those are the things that would piss me off the most too. Not what he's saying here. It's almost like, to me, this is what it sounds like when you haven't lived it. Like when you don't understand it, you haven't lived it. You sound like Dr. K here. It sounds like he's read this from a textbook and he's trying to make deductions from there. But there's a big difference between the people that have lived it, experienced it, and the ones that have just read about it. Not the same. It gets lost in translation.
The worst. Absolute. Like, it's just so infuriating. Like, you hurt me, and instead of just admitting that you hurt me and saying sorry, you double down and you make things worse, and then you say shit like this. I'm doing it for I want you to focus on real things. It's like, I'm developing a skill in my free time. Donated my guitar when I got good at playing. Said it was too loud. See, this is all this weird defensive stuff. And if you try to point it out to them, they have no idea. I really believe that.
And again, defensive. He said the word. So he would agree maybe more with Dr. Eatonson. He's totally neglecting the offensive side. They're doing all these things very intentionally side. That's the side I agree with more. And he fails to mention it at all, which I think is problematic. And I think when you don't mention that side, then you're going to miss the mark here a little bit. And if you're going to think about the way he's saying it, to me, the only suggestion I would say to someone in that situation is no contact, least amount of contact necessary, the end. And then you try to help them to understand narcissism. You help them to understand the toxic behaviors and manipulation.